This week we finally get round to fitting our stern doors and transform our rear deck from this into this. Good morning. Got slightly damp last night or this morning. There's a couple of little spots we can see us. Well, now I'm hoping they'll dry. They should do when the sun comes up, but I was actually hoping to get another coat a bit earlier before it gets too hot. Also, even though we've been having tons of sun, we've been keeping the fan on all night. It's actually down to 12.4 a minute ago. That's just because there's some wattage coming in. But yeah, I couldn't sleep without the fan. And then we remembered that just last week we took the air conditioning unit back to my parents' house because we thought summer was over. So we brought it back yesterday, set it up last night. Slept rather well. We're going to try and set it up again today in this bit just so I can get a chance to sit and edit because it's just been far too hot. It's got up to 34, I think it's peaked at 35 now. We're saying peaked at 35 degrees C in it yesterday, and this is the coldest part of the day and it's 25 already. Also, to further protect the batteries whilst we're stationary, because we've not had the alternator running or anything to charge them, going to make my coffee with the Delta. How was your air-conditioned room last night?
Beautiful. A lot more quiet than the fan.
Yeah, it is. Danny says I've got to keep my hat on because I'm getting a burnt neck and I refuse to put sun cream on because my skin's tougher than the sun. Is it actually red?
It doesn't look too... It looks kind of tanned here, but... No, it's not really light.
No? You said I had a red neck.
Yeah, but it's
Did you mean something else?
Down. What do you mean, did I mean...
Were you insinuating something else?
What does that mean?
Well, I'm a redneck.
No.
I need a coffee. I don't think we can even put that in a video.
No, you definitely can.
Well, I actually love the south of America. I think
No, just stop.
rednecks, hillbillies.
No.
I think I'd get on really well, actually. Use 3%. Starting off at 36, finish at 33%. Here's a great example of why you should shake the paint as well as stir it. So I'd say I gave that a good stir at the start, that white. I've just shaken the can. Better it's covering now. Both got one coat on. Look at the coverage on it now. Should have shook it from the beginning. But I thought I gave that quite a good stir. Just saying, I stirred that paint really well, or so I thought. Smoke alarm, Danny's cooking. So at the start I stirred that really well, that paint, or so I thought. You know, it was going on really thin, really clear. I just shook the can and have a look at the difference between one coat of stirred not shaken and one of stirred and shaken.
What are you going to do about that now then?
Nothing, it'll cover it on the second coat now because it's gone on really quite nice. Just might have to do a third coat on the handrail maybe or something. And it's getting really quite warm now, isn't it?
Yeah. Which one would you like?
But I can't really tell. Is that right?
Yeah.
Catch I made yesterday. When you refry, take my gloves off. When you refry it, it goes nice and crispy again. I don't know if this hat's making me hotter or it's the wrong colour, really, isn't it? This week's video is very kindly sponsored by our friends over at EcoFlow. If you don't know who EcoFlow are or what they do, think power banks, think solar panels, electric robotic lawnmowers.
The world's first robotic lawn sweeping mower.
They're definitely most known for their power banks though. They're founded back in 2017, initially through an Indiegogo or Kickstarter campaign, initially to develop their River model. Since then they've developed a Delta range of power banks and have started using LiFePO4 batteries, which is basically what Elon puts in Teslas.
I mean, really, it brands itself.
Yeah.
It basically means they're safer and they'll charge way more times before they die. They should give you around 10 years of daily use or 3,000 cycles. They're also guaranteed for I think the longest in the industry, which is 5 years, which is great for a battery product. My favourite feature though is just how fast they charge. They're actually the fastest charging power banks in the world. They've got a model to suit any use, from the compact River series up to the Delta 2 Max that we've been using. Most of the units can be expanded with an additional battery and they all connect up to EcoFlow's super snazzy app so you can control all sorts. We've been using the EcoFlow of some sort for 18 months now, right the way back when we were fitting the boat out. Before we had power, we were using it to power tools and chargers, tile cutters, everything. Their newest range is all about utilising power, and my favourite for this week at least has been the air conditioning unit, the Wave 2, which is actually the world's first off-grid combined air conditioner heater unit. As you'll see later on, it was a great welcome through the heat wave and it just made the job that little bit more bearable. I managed to hook it up to our 220 watt portable solar panel just to keep some charge coming back in. A few weeks ago my dad turned 70, bless him, and we took every camper van in the family down out for one night of camping. I took the Glacier with me, which is the all-in-one core box, fridge, freezer, ice maker. It kept the beers ice cold all night and the battery lasted longer than the beer did. If you're thinking of getting a power bank as an addition to your current setup or as a sole system in a van build, I'd highly recommend the Delta 2. It'll power pretty much anything 240 volt, at least that you could fit in a van, and it will recharge from 0 to 80% in just 50 minutes. I'll leave a link down in the description and pinned comment. Keep an eye out to see if we've got any discount for you as well. Now back to the Stern refurb. We're up to 30.1 degrees C already. Time for the AC, I think. Hopefully you can sit up on here. Too hot for this. Save me. Oh my goodness. Oh. Just went up to the cafe for a much needed break. Coffee, slice of cake, lovely. Had a quick look at the crop circle, like an exhibition sort of thing they got out there. Danny's not far off finishing grinding the hatch. You alright? Hot. I've just run out of battery on the air conditioning unit, but I've got an idea to fit the solar up on the roof temporarily and feed the cable down in, keep it charged up. It will charge through mains as well, but just trying to save our batteries. She loves the grinder. Bless her. So with EcoFlow's additional solar cable, being able to come off that bifacial panel. Can't remember behind me what that is. I think it might be 400 or 220. 220 watts. Come with that cable and going in through the window, and then plug the solar directly into the air conditioning unit. So it's got like a built-in MPPT to control the volts coming in. Sun's gone in typically, but still just as bloody hot. I've got the fan on now, just getting some cool air circulating, or air circulating in general, get the hot air out. 31.1 cable. That's like the common port. This would plug into any of the little power banks and the cooler, cool box, fridge thing with the ice, the glacier, plug directly into that as well. Just put it onto eco mode whilst it's charging. That is very welcome. Two coats done, and I'm running out of enthusiasm. Still a bit of moisture in the air this morning, so I'm going to start off with some rust treatment on the hatch, let that dry, then I'll get some prime on that later on, and then maybe final coat on the white. Then once that's dry, start looking at fitting the doors. Oh yeah. How you doing? Not too bad, you alright?
Yeah, good. Good to hear for us.
Yeah.
Morning.
Oh yeah. How's it going?
Getting on with it before the sun gets too
That's
hot
it,
again.
yeah. That was killer yesterday.
Well, I think today's the
Bit worse today?
6th day, I think, isn't it?
Is it?
Somewhere in the country over 30. Anyway, you better get your painting done.
Yes.
Okay, great to see you.
And you, thank you. What a lovely waterways, Chaplin. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty bored of not only painting, but filming painting, so here's a nice time lapse of hopefully the last coat of white. Maybe second to last. Also, look at these reeds making their way down the canal. Don't mind me and my admiration station. Quite pleased with them. Just trying to figure out locks now. I was hoping to use garage door bolts. That'll go down into the sill. I thought these opened from inside and outside, but the key only goes in one side of that bit. So I can't use them how I thought. So for now I'll fit them inside. I just have to lock and unlock through these doors and leave through the bow until I think of something else. Make a new sill now, that look. It's actually this original bottom timber that's running out slightly higher this side. You can see the difference in the steps. I put that in about 2 years ago. It's lasted well. Yeah, still 10mm difference in that. I've got 50mm here, 60mm here. The oak I brought over that I already had isn't going to work, but I picked up a bearer from the builder's merchant. I got some rollers, those, the other day, and I reckon it's going to work. Going on top, it's basically, let me start again. The problem is, I pull this back in, even that's not quite wide enough for the bolt to go down in. The oak's not wide enough, the oak can only come about halfway, but this actually extends out further, because it's got to be wider than this, which is about 50 mil. This is 70, so that should be enough. Let's have a 20 mil for the bolt to go down in. This will literally go like that, but it's just over 60 mil, so I need to take it down and get a piece out which goes from 50 to 60, so 10 mil to nothing. 10 mil down to nothing. And looking at the size of it, it's probably going to make my little battery saw grunt a little bit. Doesn't quite cut deep. Wood softer than I thought, and it's cracked from hitting it in. This is a bit tight. I'll have to rip it out, flip it over. Right, at this point, I'm just going to bang it in and then get a piece of oak made that size, then take that out. At a later date. Don't even close anyway. Day 4 on the doors. Danny's back from work. Yesterday I got a little bit frustrated with the sill, so I called it a day after I managed to get it to fit temporarily. And what I'm going to do is get a piece of oak cut and use that as a template. It's really quite soft timber, and as I whacked it with a mallet, it just dented it, which isn't what I wanted really, because I spent like an hour cutting it. But at least I know the exact size I need. I've put the hatch over. A bit stiff. I have to butcher it a bit to get the doors to clear it, but that'll give me an idea of the size piece of oak I need now. I can fit the garage door bolts as well. I don't know if I said yesterday, they're not going to work quite how I imagined, because I thought you could put the key in from both sides. So I thought we could lock and unlock them from inside and outside, but we're just going to be able to lock them from inside, so we just have to enter through the bow, which isn't the end of the world, but just not what I'd planned. I've had a change of plan. I'm going to go with the night latch. I was worried about them being weak on double doors, because you'd almost pivot too much. But Danny messaged Uncle Gary, recommended putting a bolt in one of the doors, so that keeps that one still, and then you night latch the other one open, then open the bolt. Simple. So I've just been out, got night latch, needed a 32mm bit, bolts, and a chisel. I'm a bit scared. It's quite a big hole to put in the new doors. I think it's set for inward opening, so I just have to swap it over. That bit needs to flip this. Yeah, that's not going to work either, I don't think. Basically, these latches are made for inward opening doors, so I ain't got to worry about this fouling, but as these go out, this adds to the edge, and basically it's just going to hit this. And that's like inset it further. But then you've got to notch this out. Which ain't going to quite... Oh, and you run out of meat to actually grab into. It's going to be like there. And as these doors are oak, if they do shrink at all, then you've got this nasty hole left. So for now, just fit a couple of bolts, then we can lock it from inside at least, and then just enter through the valve. If you've got any ideas on how to lock and unlock these from inside and outside with a key, it'd be much appreciated. Just realigned the alternator. Don't know if you remember me saying it was out. It's looking a lot better. Basically, I thought that bolt on the right hand side was broke, but I've just undone all the bolts, held it over to the right, and then tightened them all back up. It seems to be straight now. Looks a lot better. Next up, I'm going to do the engine kill switch. I've got just about a big enough drill bit to resize that hole there. And then feed it back through. It's too hot. Easy.
Wow. Ooh. That was so hard before. Is that what it's actually meant to be like?
Cable was seized, wasn't it?
What was it?
The cable was seized. It's like rusted inside.
Gosh. Turn it on again.
Push that down first.
Down. Oh, that bit.
Yeah.
I could do this on my own now. Why are we waiting 3 years to do that? How long have you had that cable for?
Year and a half.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? Because you couldn't get it through. You couldn't cut this bit or something.
No, it's just because that cable was so old. Inside, there's a cable inside a sleeve.
Yeah.
And you try and pull that, and it was just rusted, I guess, and old.
Wow.
That's how easy it should be.
This honestly doesn't look like my boat stood here.
There was only one cure for yesterday's heat and mishaps, and that was a good old session at the pub. I'm feeling slightly worse for wear now.
I went back to bed at a sensible time. There was a party on another boat and someone's just come along on their paddleboard and they look like they've just left the party. So we're definitely feeling better than then. Glad we didn't go there, but yeah, really happy with the doors. Just a couple more tweaks.
Finishing touches.
Yeah, like we want to sand the floor or try and get the paint off of the black bit in the middle.
The deck bit.
It has rained overnight though, so I'm not sure how much of that we can do in the next video, but yeah, thank you for watching. We are so happy with them. I'm so glad they're up now. Are you?
Yeah.
And join us next week. We're going to be continuing cruising towards London. Thank you so much to our patrons, and we'll see you guys next week.